many of you spend so much time in the bathroom after you break a fast? Okay, so I want to be honest here and talk about a topic that most people don't want to know about and most people are embarrassed to talk about. And that is intermittent fasting and diarrhea. Now, it can be quite a problem and we don't know what to do about it. Most of us don't know what to do about it. But I wanted to get on here and let you know what I do about it so that maybe it will help you. First, I just want to talk about what happens to our body when, we intermittent fast and then break a fast and then all of a sudden, explosive diarrhea, as soon as we start eating again. And what is happening? What is happening? A lot of people say that it's your body flushing out toxins. I don't buy that. I'm sorry, I don't buy that. I've been doing intermittent fasting for about 5 years and I really struggled with this. And most people that do intermittent fasting really struggle with this. And sometimes some people just quit doing the intermittent fasting because they're so freaked out that, what's my body doing? What is going on? What this hungry old lady thinks is going on is that it's kind of like when I lived on an acreage, we had this old well and it had a pump at the top. And if you didn't use it for a while, it didn't work, right? It just stopped working. That is our digestive system. That's, for me, I realize that when I stop eating, my digestive system gets a break, and that's a good thing. So all of whatever's in my intestines just stays put. Like this well. At the bottom of the well, we know there's water, but we just don't get it out because we stop using it. And then one day when we try to use the pump, well, we want it to start working again. So what do? We prime the pump, we pour some water down there and get it going. But when you start, when water starts coming out of that pump, when you've primed it, it goes psh, 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 psh. I know, gross. But I just thought it was a good analogy because that's our intestines. That's how our bowels work. If we don't put anything in there, it's going to stay dormant. Nothing's going to happen. So you're not going to be pooping on the toilet on, several days. Like I'm talking about a long fast. So maybe 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. But some people experience this with OMAD or with 16-8 or, the 5-2 fast. Just depends on what kind of fast you're doing. So, everybody's different. Every body is different as well. I'm just telling you a little bit about myself to see if maybe you can apply some of what I do. And if it helps you, great. If not, let it pass by. But my well pump analogy, when you first get the water coming out, it's like gross and orange and spurting out sporadically until it gets flowing again. And then once you keep pumping it, the water comes out and it's clean and it's flowing and it's nice and it's normal. And for our bodies, for our digestive system, when we start it up again, it's gonna react the same way. You're going to get a lot of, spurting, explosive, you know what, bright yellow, orange. I'm sorry to gross you out, but I just want to be real about this because a lot of people wonder, right? And so once you get your intestines flowing again, working again, then it all becomes normal again. And for me, I have tried several different types of food when I break a fast just to see what my body would react like, how, fast I could get this pump primed. And so I've tried things like, I've heard on the internet, you should only do soups and light things. Garbage! I'm sorry. I don't believe that. At least it didn't work with my body. What that does is it just goes in one end and out the other. And I found I needed something more solid, right? And so I thought, okay, I'll make a whole pile of vegetables like broccoli and just eat that, and maybe not even a whole pile, just a little bit, but didn't work. Some people say, well, start with water and then juices and then things like that. No. And then I thought about it. And I thought, really, you should just be able to eat anything and prime that pump, and then it eventually starts working again. But I wanted the least possible difficulty. So I decided to try fiber because initially what you want is something just to hold the food in. You just want to hold the yummy food in that you get to eat after you've done your fast, And so I thought, what could I use? I've tried bread, but it didn't work as well as I thought it would. It's a good substance, and you can eat some grain bread and things like that, multi-grain bread and things like that, and that's fine. You can try that. But what really worked, I'll say it again, what really worked, and I've done it now for 5 years, is ground up flax. And the reason it works is because if you do a little experiment and you pour flax into a jar with maybe a little bit of warm water, it explodes into a big fluffy kind of mass. And I thought, that's what you need. You need like a plug, right? You need a plug just for a little while, so you can enjoy your yummy food. And so I began to do that. When I break my fast, I take a big heaping teaspoon of ground up flax. And the flax, what I do is I buy it from the health food store. So I want it to be natural. I don't want the golden flax because I think they bleach that. I don't want that in my intestines. So I get the natural dark brown flax, and I put it in a little coffee grinder, and I grind it up. And I keep a big container full of that. So when it comes to me breaking my fast, I take a big scoop of that. I put it in my mouth. I know you can mix it with water in a glass. You guys go ahead and do whatever you want, but this is what I do. I spoon it in, and I take the water and drink as much water as I possibly can with it. And then basically I can just eat anything, really. You guys, I even eat like A&W hamburger, whatever I want. I know we want to have food that is nutritionally good for us, and I normally do have that, but I'm just telling you that every once in a while I do break a fast with going out to A&W. Is that bad? I don't care if it's bad. It works for me, whatever. You guys do whatever you want, and that's fine. But I'm just telling you how, my system works, and if this helps you, I will be so happy because my whole goal in life is to help other people have less trouble. You know, if something really helps me, I want to share it. I want to let you guys know so that it can help you too. And what I also do is I really believe that probiotics help. I've been taking probiotics for a long time, and the two of them together, like flax and then probiotics, whatever type of probiotics you guys like to take, I would say, you know, do that. Any foods with probiotics, have them right after, you know, you break a fast as well. For me, I make my own kombucha tea. I've done that for a long time. I think even longer than I've been doing my intermittent fasting. But anyway, I have several jars of my kombucha tea, and in a glass I would take about this much, and I would then put a little bit of, you know, some natural grapefruit juice, mix it with it, and then I would drink it. Sometimes I put a little bit of ginger ale in there too for my tummy. But anyway, so I would take the flax, and then I would take some of my kombucha tea, and then I can eat whatever I want and as much as I want. I've had huge big meals right after a 4-day fast with OMAD, because I do eat that way every day. Outside of, like, my schedule for fasting is once a month I do a 4-day water fast, just drink water, that's it. And I do that for health reasons, because it helps with autophagy, which is your cell regeneration, fixing things in your body, and it has helped me so much. But anyway, that's just me. Once a month I do a 4-day fast. But all the other days I do OMAD. And so when I don't eat anything in the morning, afternoon, right up till supper, I break my fast, and usually it's about 20 hours. And then I would take a spoonful of the flax and some of my kombucha tea, and then I go ahead and eat my supper. And I know a lot of people say, well, you know, you should just have supper. If you're doing OMAD, it's strict OMAD. I'm not a strict nothing. I don't care. I'm not a strict nothing. You guys, if you want to do just one plate, that's fine. But I have my plate of food. Sometimes it's not even a very big plate. And then I maybe have, you know, an orange later on in the evening or something like that. And I thought, what's the big deal? I mean, if it was one whole plate and I had an orange sitting on the side or chopped up, or if I had some slices of cheese sitting on my plate at that time doesn't matter as much, for me anyways, doing intermittent fasting. So that's my OMAD. But anyway, that aside, however I want, whatever type of fasting I do, like even if I do a 16-8, sometimes I just don't have breakfast, and like say on a Saturday or Sunday, like today, going out to church, coming back, and I will have my lunch. Because today I'm doing a 16-8, it's like a cheat day to me. I don't call it a cheat anything. I just switch things around however it's convenient for me. So with this 16-8 today, I'm just gonna come home. I'm gonna have my scoop of flax, ground flax, a little bit of kombucha tea, and I'm gonna eat whatever I want. And then starting again Monday on my regular OMAD week, like I always do, nothing all day long, come home after work, take my scoop of flax and kombucha, and away I go. And I just finished actually doing a 4-day water fast. I finished it on Friday evening, and this is Sunday morning. So Friday evening, I took my flax and a drink of my kombucha. And now this is gross. If you don't want to hear this, turn it off right now. But my first bowel movement was like the explosive priming the well. But it wasn't continuous, right? It was just just once. And I could tell there was a good substantial plug there with my flaxseed. And that's good. Once that happened, I was good to go. And when you resume eating after intermittent fasting, if you've got prolonged diarrhea, then no, that's not supposed to continue. You have to come up with a method for your particular body that will help you. That, if you've got one bout of small little bit of diarrhea, that's fine. It's getting things going again. But it shouldn't be like every day. It shouldn't be all the time. I remember, because I'm in menopause, this is for older people as well, right? That's why I created Hungry Old Lady, because it's more generated to those that are older. And as you get older, your hormones become less, right? Especially during menopause. For guys though too, and andropause, I think it's called. But anyway, your hormones become lower and lower. And as they become lower and lower, your bowels don't work as well. Sometimes you're constipated. Sometimes you have diarrhea. Sometimes all in one day. Morning constipation, end of the day diarrhea. And for me, my system, before I started doing intermittent fasting, you guys, that's what my system was like. It was like, constipation, diarrhea, up and down like that. I was like, what the heck? What the heck? And most of that is because you're aging, you're getting older, your body is getting older, the pump is not working so well. So as I've started, when I started doing the intermittent fasting, it went away. It was almost like maybe it was irritable bowel syndrome. I don't know. A lot of people do struggle with that. I know people that do, and it's very, very difficult. But I would highly suggest you continue with the intermittent fasting, especially maybe try and do some long fasts, because that will help with that kind of consistency with your bowel movements. And as I said, I never struggle with that on-off constipation, diarrhea anymore. And also another thing with flax, it is a phytoestrogen, I think it's called. And what phytoestrogens are, any foods that are classed as phytoestrogens, they mimic estrogens in our body. And so when we take them, they actually act as, replenishing the hormones that are low in our bodies. And so, I think flax is the highest in phytoestrogen. And so when I found this out, I've done lots of research. I love research, you guys. And I just want to pass that along to you too. So any foods that are classed as a phytoestrogen, that's PHY estrogen, phytoestrogen, is extremely good to take for keeping your bowels consistent. And so when you break a fast, any type of fast, any length of fast, you want to have phytoestrogens. And so I just went to the top, flax being the top. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that little caveat with you. And hopefully these little, hints and ideas and analogies will help you guys. And you know what? It is perfectly normal to have a bout of diarrhea after you do intermittent fasting. And if you're new to intermittent fasting, don't freak out. It's normal. There is another side that I just wanted to touch on a little bit about diarrhea and fasting. There is an element of purging your toxins when you do the intermittent fasting, but that's with short-term intermittent fasting. For me, what I found anyways is that, I started out with a 5-2 fast, right? And that's on Mondays, I would eat only 500 calories, and then Thursdays, I would eat only 500 calories. And, I graduated from that 500 calories to just drinking water on Mondays and Thursdays. And that's how I lost the 50 pounds and kept it off for 5 years. But anyway, what I'm getting at is I wasn't fully fasting. There was still, like, it was like a fast mimic, and fast mimicking is perfectly fine to do. But what I'm getting at is that my bowels were still working, right? They were still working. So there was no shut off valve like the pump. There was no shutting off my digestive system. It was still going, but very, very lightly. So, you know, in between, on and off, I did have bouts of diarrhea, and I believe that was my body purging toxins. So that's totally separate from what I'm talking about with restarting after fasting, restarting eating. And it's important to know the difference, because yes, we do purge toxins when we do intermittent fasting, but when we break a fast and start eating, that diarrhea is different. That is something different that's happening in your body. Your pump is starting to get primed and start working again. So that's all it is. And basically, I also wanted to touch on what your bowel movements should look like after a fast. If you've got enough fiber in you, and fiber, gals, and men, actually, fiber, push the fiber, eat the fiber as much as you can. But anyway, what your bowel movements should look like is like floating at the top. Oops, if this is too much information, turn it off. But anyways, floating at the top, a good consistency. It shouldn't really smell a lot. When you first break a fast, yes, it does smell. It's because the pump is being primed. Remember the water coming out of the ground and yucky yellow, same thing. Anyway, so, and bowel movements should be every day. And I know a lot of people would say, no, that's not me. I only go 2 to 3 times a week, or every other day or something like that. But I was always taught that you should have a bowel movement once a day, and I never used to be like that, actually, until I started doing intermittent fasting, and I believe I had a lot of gut healing happen, and with the kombucha and the probiotics, after 5 years of doing it, my gut, I know, has healed tremendously. And like I said, never have the constipation diarrhea thing happening all the time. No. And then, every day a bowel movement, probably in the morning. But so that is all I wanted to say, basically, about this really icky, controversial topic, but very necessary to talk about, because, we just want to know. And I just want to be real with you guys, and I really encourage you to continue with your intermittent fasting, whatever kind you're doing, whether it's OMAD or 2, 3, 4 day fast, or 16-8, or whatever you decide to do. Just keep doing it. Don't let the diarrhea scare you. And develop a plan that will combat that or lessen that, and so that you can continue just eating your yummy food after you break a fast. So hope this helps. Thank you so much for following along with my video all the way to the end. Thank you so much for following Hungry Old Lady. If you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button and the bell. Take a look at my websites down below. I have them all in the description box, and things that I like to do and use for products and things like that if you want. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching Hungry Old Lady, you guys. Have a great and awesome day.